pretty much everybody has seen where you get a fake phishing email where it's acting like it's Microsoft. And instead of it being the actual M, they put a RN together and you got to squint to look at it. And so if you look at it real
I know.
fast.
Yeah. So what is typo squatting, right?
Yeah, kind of. It's actually called something else. But typo squatting in a sense too, because typo squatting would be like, if it's Microsoft.com, it might be Microsoft.word.com or something. Or instead of Microsoft, maybe one of the O's would be a O or something like that. Something like that, right? Well, not an O, a zero.
But just another character that looks similar. Yeah.
But, and I'm going to put this picture on here, where in the phishing link from the header, how they have it send as, it'll look like it's Microsoft. It'll say no reply at Microsoft.com, but you really got to pay attention to it. And you really just got to pay attention to what's happening in the thing. Now, y'all see me laughing because I'm looking at the picture, and it's funny because it's like password reset request. And I know that's not something they'll send you. So you gotta look real hard.
Oh my goodness. See, that's why you gotta be careful. That's exactly why you gotta be careful. Because I'm seeing what my eyes want to see, right? Not what's actually there. Yeah, that
typically happens a lot, but also that's why the contents of what's in the email always matters as well as what are you seeing. So it says a sophisticated phishing campaign is currently leveraging a subtle typographical trick. There we go, typographical. To bypass user vigilance, deceiving victims into handing over sensitive login credentials. Attackers utilize the domain Microsoft.com to impersonate the tech giant by replacing the letter M with a combination of R and N. Fraudsters create a visual doppelganger that is nearly indistinguishable from a legitimate domain at a casual glance. And you're also right, too. So I was wrong. This technique, known as typo squatting, relies heavily on the font rendering used in modern email clients and web browsers. When placed closely together, the kerning between R and N often mimics the structure of the letter M, fooling the brain into autocorrecting the error.
You heard how I said fooling the brain, because for real.
Harley Sugarman, CEO of Anagram, recently highlighted this specific vector, noting that emails often mirror the official logo, layout, and tone of legitimate Microsoft correspondence. So yeah, sometimes what I'll do if I'm not sure if it's a legitimate Microsoft email or not, I'll actually look up like the domains and stuff, because you'll have somebody have something like that. It might be not no reply Microsoft. It may say something else, very similar to do not reply or no reply or something. So the effectiveness of this attack vector lies in the subtly on high resolution desktop monitors. The discrepancy might be visible to a keen observer, but the brain's tendency to predict text often masks the anomaly. And you know what? That's right, because have you ever seen somebody misspell something that they text you or something, or left out a word, but your brain fill in the gap, so you already know what they're talking about? So,
but that it's just innately in our nature to do that, which is why you got to slow down.
Yeah. The threat becomes even more acute on mobile devices where screen real estate is limited and the address bar often truncates the full URL. Attackers exploit this by registering these lookalike domains to facilitate credential phishing, vendor invoice scams, and internal HR impersonation campaigns. So we got to stop right there, because I've seen that before in the past. Of you got typo squad and then you got somebody. It's actually a little bit more complicated.
But the gag is that when it comes to using email filtering solutions, right, whatever it may be you're using, user education is the only thing that can prevent that from happening, because it's not, like that domain it's registered to someone.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like you said, looking fast. Two, these things have a higher
safety tips would probably pull. It would say something. If you are using a solution that can provide you with that, it'll say something like, "This looks like somebody that you've communicated," or because Google has gotten better with that, or Gmail has gotten better with that. in emails. I'm starting to see tips from them for personal domains.
Really, I mean, you can set it up enterprise-wide. However, like, so Proofpoint, if anybody don't know what Proofpoint is really a email security company where they are pretty much the buffer in between email probably going straight to you or not. So it's like
it's gonna scan it and do its thing.
Yeah. So if Destiny wants to send me an email, this thing right here is Proofpoint. Proofpoint looks at everything and scans it and see if it's legitimate or not, and then decides to send it to me or not.
Yeah.
Now Proofpoint has these different tools: Proofpoint Trap, Proofpoint Tap. Proofpoint Tap will look at it and say, "Hey, you don't really message this person a lot. You should look into this."
Exactly.
And it'll stop it. But even going through that is on an enterprise-wise. I believe these people are hitting people at home.
No, that's what I'm saying, because a lot of those capabilities that we see on the enterprise side are not necessarily on the personal side, but I have been seeing more from Google.
And it'll be cool. And like, if I have time to edit this, I'm going to probably put a B-roll right here of a tool. I made a video on this before, and I'm trying to link it right here. It's called SquareX. And it's actually gotten better. It's pretty much a disposable browser, so an online sandbox that you can use. So whenever you're not sure about a link or whatever it is, it can integrate with Gmail and I believe Outlook as well. So you can just hover over something and it'll say open in US East 1 or whatever. Like, I know it's ran on the back end of AWS. So now it's going to open. It's going to show you if it's a credential harvester or not, or if it's something malicious. It'll open there and on your browser and help you stay protected. And so it's one of the cheap things that you can do. Don't take no time to do it versus clicking on it and not being a pro and then putting information in. Sorry about that.
I will say, if you're focusing in on email security at work, go look at your settings and see if you have, because people they buy these solutions and they don't turn the things on to make life easier for them and their users. So go in and check and see if you have, I mean, everything might not need to be turned on depending on the culture, whatever's going on there. But go look and see if there are some things that you can advocate to say this will help us reduce X, Y, and Z. If we were tips, for example, you have to turn that on.
Yeah. Well, the one of the easy things to do is that you can have approved senders, like domain lists. Yep. So like all the companies that you do, like your third party companies or your fourth parties, all the people that you interact with, they could be in a allow list. And
but so also, I don't think you should be doing that.
Well,
because that makes people never take their email security serious.
Well, this will be at the admin level. It's like one of the ways at least sure up, okay, these people are known to email us, because all the time the tools don't always necessarily get it right. So, of course, you can always trust but verify.
But what I'll see is that there are 100, 200, 300, 400 domains in that list, and that's not how it's supposed to be used. It's not supposed to be a little VIP section.
Well, so I worked in companies before where you couldn't send anything externally from your email.
Yeah.
Which
is what it should be.
Unless it was approved.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
That is a good thing. That is you give or take. But in some environments, that should be in place, because what are you sending externally? And then even still, you can audit to see.
Yeah. You can see
so that you can educate your users.
I mean, of course, you're never going to tell them that you're policing what they send. Like, a lot of times people are sending their
resumes, for example.
They're sending their taxes.
Reviews or whatever.
Something like that.
Yep.
So, I mean, most of the time, the tools are just going to scan and make sure there's no company proprietary information in that.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times, if it's something like that, it's already scheduled to say, hey, you can't send this, or you need approval to send
and
this.
they'll get an alert, and they might contact you and be like, what's going on?
That's what they typically do.
Going on. Yep.
That's what they typically do. Let's see, where were we? But like, even the more intricate thing that people do, they will compromise somebody in the enterprise. They'll set up a type of squatter domain. Once they are able to hijack the email conversation where the money is, they'll send something like that to them, requesting the change to an invoice, and then it goes to the different domain, and then they get the money.
Yeah.
So the person who's intended to actually do the right business is not in the thread no more. They took them out. So you still think you talking to
low key man in the middle.
Yeah.
Low key.
Yeah. You still think you're talking to me, but you're talking to somebody else. That's why a little trick is, one, domains, just looking at the domain, but two, most companies, is the reason why they have you do a certain signature. A lot of attackers are too sloppy to copy the signature that you have.
Even banking, though, when you I know people don't use checks like that, but when it comes to your signature, you have a signature card on file with your bank, and they will go in and look at, let's say you just deposited a check, you never do. They're going to go look at that signature to make sure that it matches. And if it's off, they're not going to let it go through.
The issue with the process that I'm talking about, reason why it failed, it wasn't at the company I was working for. It was for a company that they do business with. They fell victim to it.
No, and that's usually what happens because you might have your security intact internally, email wise, but they don't over here.
Yeah. Well,
and then in that allow list, you put somebody in that allow list. You're basically saying trust everything that comes from them.
Well, no, I mean, it's still trust but verify, but it's like it has to be some reason that we're. If not, because a lot of people get marked as spam off top just because of so many domains. So that's another reason why it was just you won't see it or it didn't come in. But on this instance, the person at the company I was working for at the time, they said, "Hey, I ain't never emailed this person this or that," which led us to say, "Okay, let's go look at this thread." Mm-hmm. And that's when you're using the actual ethical part of using a Microsoft Threat Explorer or Purview to go through and look exactly what transpired. And I was like, there it is right there.
Do you think it would be good for people who are just trying to figure out? I think email security, even just for yourself, is something good that you can put down that you're managing, like if you, like you said, you're going in, you're taking a look at those domains, looking at analyzing the headers is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You can start doing that on your own personal email.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. I think it's one way.
It is going to be different though than what you'll see on an enterprise level.
Yes and no. They still do the same sloppy stuff.
Yeah.
Some people unless like I said, the more intricate things is you compromise a third party, and now you message my company with something, and then we like, oh, okay, this is a credential harvester right here. Let's go ahead and get you out of there, bud. So I don't know. It's pretty much like that. I want to see if they have anything else on here for people. Because I like this. It's kind of like educating people on what they can look for. So I'm going to try to put all these pictures on here. Let's see. Defending against these homoglyph and typo-squatted attacks requires a shift in user behavior rather than relying solely on automated filters. Security experts advise that users must expand the full sender address before interacting with any unsolicited email. Hovering over hyperlinks to reveal the actual destination URL or long pressing the link on a mobile device can expose the deception before a connection is made.
Okay.
Furthermore, analyzing email headers, specifically the reply to field, can reveal if a scammer is routing responses to an external, uncontrolled inbox. In scenarios involving unexpected password reset requests, the safest course of action is to ignore the email link entirely and navigate directly to the official service via a new browser tab. Organizations are encouraged to rehearse these identification scenarios to stop teams from reflexively clicking on familiar-looking notifications. So they have letter combination for Microsoft.com, and they're showing how people use the R and N to mimic the M, or they do the number swapping. So that's what I was talking about earlier, whereas Microsoft, they replaced one of the O's with a zero, hyphenation. This is the one I'm talking about. So adding legitimate sounding subdomains or suffixes. So Microsoft-support.com.
Oh, yeah.
And TLD switching, using a different top-level domain, dropping the M. And so they did Microsoft.co. So those are some visual examples that you could see where you'll see attackers try different things to get you to believe they're like the actual person. Like,
I'll be happy when people understand a little bit better how chaotic falling for a phishing attack can really be to your life, especially in your main inbox where you're getting all your emails, your bank statements, your credit card, like it.
Yeah. Well, you get into that, then you get into the scammers. Hey, your IP address is something. We can fix it. Like, the fake Microsoft people. So, like I said, my grandma, she quick to just unplug the computer and the internet. So, y'all ain't getting Nathan.
I ain't mad at her. At least she ain't falling for it.
It'd be fun to do if we could do it on Patreon or something. But, like, how fun would it be to watch, like, Beekeeper and react to, like, Beekeeper?
That would be fun.
Like,
we could do a watch party.
At least that probably interaction of like, yo, this is what I gotta see how long it is, because do fair use and all the copyright strike stuff. But I want to see how long it is because people could react to what happened when that lady they took that money from her.
Just up into that part.
Yeah.
Let me see. How long is the Beekeeper movie? It says 105 minutes.
So that's what, an hour and 35?
Yeah. That was a good movie. I really enjoy him.
What's an hour and 35? 60 minutes. So you got.
Don't have me doing math.
Yeah, that's 135.